hang on. Badoo. How's that? Good gracious, it set me back to default microphones, so thanks very much. That's a good 3 minutes of me talking and nobody can hear me. All right, there we go. Hello there. That's wild. I didn't even notice that because obviously I tabbed away from OBS to play the game. It's more one single screen issues. But again, first world problems. My apologies for that. I guess OBS decided to update and switch my microphone back to default. Or perhaps Windows updated and switched my microphone back to default from my voice mod thing. Now let me just check. This should work too. Hang on. This should work. Yep. And I should probably be able to do weird stuff like this.
Wow.
Okay. Yeah, that's right. I did have that week off. Some of the systems had to reboot. You know how you leave something running forever and you're a little worried that if you have to turn it off or like reboot it or whatever, it just might not kick back up properly like it used to. I guess just spending a week away and OBS forgot how to do some of our broadcasting stuff. Anyway, we're back to it now. Oh, it was great. Had a lovely time. Weather was beautiful. Always nice to walk around the sprawling city of Ottawa. I didn't really come to appreciate what a nice looking city it is until I left that area. But having been in many sort of crowded, very urban areas, I very much have come to appreciate how its layout is very much, you know, here's a splash of civilization in and amongst all of this green space that they've allowed, which is very nice. So always great there, except they've ruined the public transportation and it is virtually, well, I mean, it's not virtually impossible, but it's certainly much more difficult to get across the city now than it used to be when I left, which is crazy. Anyway, we are checking on everybody's condition to fight. Jungle Boy and Mike Bailey. I'm still putting, they have a opportunity to be in a number one contenders match today. I'm still gonna give them that chance. It still says they're good. They're a little beat up, but Luna Vachon was beat up and she earned herself a tag match, or a tag title match, so who knows. Got a few more people at B's and C's and stuff here, eh? Kevin Owens, okay. I don't think I'm putting Kevin Owens on this show tonight. We'll see. Everyone else is doing well. Nassau with the Noah belt until we can get it off them. Everybody looking to be in good condition at least. Oh no, Mr. Bigfoot bought 4 Chick-fil-A's in my absence. I'm not quite sure I appreciate all of Chick-fil-A's policies towards humans. Okay. Oh yes, High Boost is still legit hurt, but we're way down in the staples by now. Everyone in our main roster seems okay to go. More or less. At worst, those junior heavyweights are going to be put in a tag match if they're even selected by the Wheel of Fate, so they should be okay. Let's see. Everyone here is looking good. Normal. Not as good, but normal's okay. Nobody's in poor condition. That's really what we're banking on here. Oh, Luna's beat up, but again, she's got that tag title match coming up tonight, so she's gonna be up for that for sure. Okay, so just the one hurt wrestler. Other than that, we're gonna let everybody else have a chance at it. Well, that's nice. I do like a good cauliflower wing. The spicier, the better. Ooh, breaded cauliflower sounds delicious right about now. Anywho, we have a few title belts on our own. This was going to be not an off-brand show, but next week we're going to have that big world title match between Kurt Angle and Kazuchika Okada, because we're slowly having the Squared Circle K cash in their Trios Tournament of Terror title matches. Tonight we're seeing Kairi Sane, Bill Bullock. That's the only... Well, one of the 2 GWA title matches I already knew that we were having. So Kairi Sane will be facing Bill Bullock. We have that to book. And in our main event, Bison Smith and Luna Vachon have earned that tag title shot. Unfortunately for them, they're facing a fresh Shawn Michaels and Scott Hall. So that's going to be a tough matchup for them. But that's our main event for the GWA tag belts. But we do need to lure someone in from DDT to face Bret Hart for the DDT title. I know we have another friend in, Kaden Carter's in from NXT. I already have a singles match in mind for her. So let me just book somebody from DDT to show up, and then I think we're ready to actually put a card together using primarily our talent, because we have 50 rostered members, so we should be able to put together a pretty rockin' show. Okay, so we need to invite someone from DDT. Yeah, we got a big card coming up. It's all building towards, I mean, we got some good title matches this week and next week. 2 weeks from now, we have the Trios Tournament of Terror. And then following that, our last 2 shows that we're ever going to be broadcasting as the second generation of the GWA. I'm just going to go balls out, if you will. Okay, so Higuchi got the title shot against Brett last time. Brett handily defeated him. It was only about a 74% as well. Oh, Rocco, thank you very much for giving out another gifted sub. I shake the tambourine for Dark Racer. Congrats, buddy. Hope they're around to give you a shout out and say thanks eventually, but thank you very much, Rocco. Appreciate you. All right, Tetsuya Endo is going to be getting the title shot against Bret Hart this time. We're trying to get the DDT title back to DDT. Actually, hang on here. Yeah, I'm going to go Tetsuya Endo. If Endo can't get it done, then we'll go Daisuke Sasuke, see if he can bring it to Damnation. And if he can't get it done, Harashima, if he can't get it done, Masa Takanashi, like we'll figure it out. But for today, let's see if we can get Tetsuya Endo over. 35 grand. But we got him. Okay, Tetsuya Endo's in to face Bret Hart. Let me just pencil that in, or rather type that in. Tetsuya Endo versus Bret Hart for the DDT Championship. Endo trying to bring the belt back to his home promotion. And that's the only sort of guest we need. There we go. Okay, so last time we ran a card in Japan in front of about 30,000 people. We didn't quite sell it out. We'll see. I'll keep it in Japan for now. We'll see if I can sell it out by doing 2 Japan shows in a row, just to see if we can up our rating in Japan, and then we'll probably bounce back to America for the rest of our shows. Okay. Let's start with our title matches. We know, for starters, that in the 10th match, our tag team of Shawn Michaels and Scott Hall, the Heartbreakers, the tag team champions, are going to be taking on the team that won the rights to face them, Luna Vachon and Bison Smith. And Bison Smith is going to start this one because Luna Vachon's pretty beat up to start. So we're going to... Oh, it's like elbow pads or not. Sure. Alright, so we got Bison Smith. We're going to get Luna Vachon as their partner. So the Black Moon Fight Club represented here in the main event. What's different here? Oh, the top. Okay. I usually default to this one. That one looks like the most functional, comfortable, and still Luna, you know? Okay, so there's our main event. It did not do well. Guess they're not quite over in Japan. All right, we had another title fight coming their way. Let's see. This one might pop a better rating. Bill Bullock, not as champion, but as contender, because he's facing Kairi Sane. Yeah, she's a B popularity in Japan, but she's got that guaranteed title shot, and here it is. The best competitor in Trios Tournament of Terror history. Going to become junior champion once again. Brought 1,000 fans with her. Got the place 10% full, and we've announced our 2 main events. That's no good. Okay, the other title fight that we're going to do is one step down from here, because we're going to put like something that previews, because we got that big title fight next week. Last week 2 weeks ago, pardon me, I forgot that I was away. So 2 weeks ago / last month in our wrestling timeline, we had that tag match between, I want to say, Kurt Angle and Darby Allin against Okada and Statlander, maybe? I think Statlander. That sounds about right. So we had some of that in anticipation of Kurt Angle versus Okada. So I'm thinking trios match here. 3 people from, like, the other 3 members of... hang on, I can even sort of fill that in. 6-man tag. So in the blue corner, we're going to do the other 3 members of Squared Circle K. So Statlander's going to start things off. We're going to put Keith Lee back her up in the corner. And then Okada, who has that big title match coming up next week. So there they are. And they're going to be facing Angle, and I don't know who else. I wonder if I can just put Kurt Angle in here and leave his partners to be determined later. So Angle for sure, because he's our world champ. And then I can. I mean, that's not... So far, it's the 3 of them versus Kurt Angle, but he's going to have 2 partners in there. I didn't know I could partially book that. That's hilarious. Okay, so that's that for now. And then we're going to put our other title match here with, there it is, Bret Hart and the DDT Championship against Tetsuya Endo in from DDT itself. Again, if we don't pull a good number in Japan, we'll just move the show to America and see how we do. What else could you be wearing? Oh, that's fun. Gets his hair curled for that one. Those are all kind of fun, but I like the latest look. Let's go with the whatever's closest. All right. Now we're on not even a third full, and we booked about half the show, which is disappointing. So, hey, what's going down? I know, that's always a shout out from Ooh to Ooh. What's going on, buddy? Hope you're having a good night. Nice to see ya. Okay, back on the air with our wrestling. I miss doing GWA for everybody. Okay, let's see. Oh yeah, we had Caden Carter in from NXT, so let's get them their singles matchup to start with. Caden Carter in from NXT. Hi, how's it going? Do you have a more exciting outfit to wear than that? We're going to go with the bright yellow. And we're going to put you against junior heavyweight from our ranks. I was already thinking, let's put you in there against Emi Sakura. So there's our opening contest. Caden Carter, Emi Sakura. I hadn't done that with the Japanese audience in mind, but just cause. We're going to put probably a Legends Junior #1 contendership match in here. So we need to fill out the rest of the card first, I would think, so we know which juniors we have left. Let's go back here to where Kurt Angle needs some tag partners. So Kurt Angle currently is teamed up with nobody. So let's, instead of Kurt Angle, let's have him not start the match, but his longtime tag partner and Daredevil Darby Allin will be starting the match. Let's have them team with... Who else can they be teaming with here? The returning Kylie Ray? Yeah, and then Kurt Angle. So Kurt, Kylie, and Darby. Oof, less people showed up than if it had been a 3-on-1 match. That's hilarious. Valorant Dad. Valorant Dad, ooh. Okay, yeah, so we got that big 6-person tag, big trios match here. I'm not feeling too secure about Kylie Ray in this situation. Is there another... heavyweight? No, I'm going to be teaming up. I think I'm going to team up Stan Hansen. Hang on, before I get too tempted to put Stan Hansen here. 1 second. I already had an idea for Stan Hansen down around this area. We're going to be doing a tag team match. Hansen's still going to be feuding with Raven and Raven's House of Misery. So we're going to be putting Kenta Kobashi, the man who stands up for all of the righteous causes here in the GWA. So we're going to have Kobashi and Stan Hansen team up to face, oh, I don't know. Let's see. House of Misery's Taz and Mike Awesome. That is going to be a hard-fought contest. Let's at least give you the arm bands. If not, well, let's go full gladiator, shall we? Full gladiator. There we go. Now we're talking. See, now we've at least got the thing half full. That's a beefy tag match. Okay, so that kind of eliminates Kobashi and Hansen from contention. Let's see if I can find somebody else. No offense to Kylie Ray, but we need somebody to counter, because we have 2 heavies and a junior on the other side. I was trying to think of another heavy that can hang. And honestly, Brody Lee's kind of a mercenary. Let's go Brody Lee instead. Kind of a mercenary. So let's put him in there. Angle, Brody Lee, and Darby Allin. What a crazy tag team against Kazuchika Okada, Keith Lee, and Chris Statlander. That's going to be a really good trios match. So that's the depth of our card. We haven't really booked the end of this. What are we going to put here? We got singles, trios, singles, tag. So let's do a... What do we have here? Singles, do tag. What are we doing down here? Yeah. Taz and Mike Awesome. You'd think would be feuding here, because they did have, Taz losing the title to Mike Awesome. That's kind of how he left the promotion in the first place. Juice, thanks for the resub with the Prime. 15 months strong. Oh, sorry, 16 months strong. Amazing. Nice to see you, buddy. Hope you're having a good night. I'm not going to point it out. But solid effort on that joke. Okay, Sting. Booking mode. What do I want to come back from break with? I'm probably going to go tag match. Ooh, that's twice as much support, Rasco. You are by far the Bit Queen, though. What do I want to put here? Thinking tag match. Let's do a little factional warfare. Just trying to think out loud. Just thinking out loud. I mean, okay, that's a good heavy junior combo. Yeah, we're not doing O'Reilly. He just won his belt last show. He's a regular tag partner with Regal, so I don't want to put Regal in this scenario. But I'll do Eddie and Bobby together, sure. Against, oops, get back to our own people. Against Blackwood and Sting. Let's get a little of that going, maybe. Okay, Blackwood, Black Moon Fight Club leader Sting, Kevin and Sting. Against, let's do maybe. Thank you so much for another unicorn fart sticker. I'm so glad they please you, as you were still the only one that uses the stickers. Lashley, yeah, we're gonna go Eddie and Lashley here. This is gonna be ridiculous. Bobby Lashley, starting things off. A little heat business against the Black Moon Fight Club. Wow, now we only need less than 10,000. How many more? And we got 3 more matches to book. We can do that. We can do that easy. So what we got? Okay, so one of these matches, probably this one, is going to be a multi-person junior match, like a number 1 contender 6-person, right? So let's do a couple singles matches here and here. So I have an idea. It's a heel versus heel match, but who cares? Because I got an idea for this one. Okay, let's go over here. We're gonna do CM Punk in his dark Chicago tights against William Regal, mano y mano. Oops, wrong. You are not William Regal. You are William Regal, CM Punk. That's going to be one of our showcase matches. Booking that singles match alone, if you check over there, that almost gave us our 10,000 fans to sell out the venue just like that. Holy moly. Okay, so we got a couple more. Or let's say this is going to be our multi-person match. We got one more singles match to book. I haven't booked. I was thinking about this before I started the game today. I don't think I booked a singles like Kenny Omega match in a little while, so let's give Kenny Omega a singles match here. I know Kevin Owens is way more disgruntled than Kenny Omega. But Owens has just been running through people, so I don't really know. Anyway, let's go Kenny Omega here. Tights number 3, just for whatever reason. Kenny Omega against. Let's see the face side of things. I don't really see anybody that I can. Oh, yeah, there we go. That's the one. Will Hobbs, Kenny Omega, and that fills the stadium. Yeah, Rocco, I was already considering that. I have 2 options now that I've sort of built Dangerous Dan right in on the stream there the other night. Generation 3 of the GWA, as we stroll down the gnarly wrestling aisle, won't necessarily be me in charge of a promotion. Like, I have 2 options. Either I'm contemplating either running GM mode in WWE 2K22, like giving myself very specific parameters in how I want to play the game and try to win, or to continue my rise as Dangerous Dan Wright. So I kind of have that, not as a fallback, but I got options. We'll see. Just whatever the mood strikes when our time here is up. I think we got 5 more weeks of the Fire Pro at the very least to get through first. Okay, this match, 6-person match. It's going to be one of those number 1 contender, strange bedfellow, bibbidi bobbidi boo trios matches, which means it's time, once again, for the Wheel of Fate. Pya! Here we are, the Wheel of Fate. Wouldn't you know it, I've already preloaded it with all the junior heavyweight talent that hasn't been booked yet. How did I know? It's almost like I have a notepad. All right, open and just have the ideas flowing. Okay, so I'm going to spin this bad boy. We got 2 teams to make. The person that picks up the winning pinfall or submission here gets Kyle O'Reilly for the Legends Junior title somewhere down the line. All right, so let us interact with the wheel and let's spin and win. Ba-boom! All right, captaining Team 1. We're going to put them in the blue corner. They are going to be by the narrowest of pixels, Yohei. Off and on tag team partner of Kenta Kobashi, known as the Fire Within, I believe they call themselves. striking out for more Legends Junior gold. Okay, Yohei, captain of Team 1. Isn't this exciting? Yohei based his entire wrestling persona on being the opposite of a Scott Hall promo. Oh, nice. I'm glad Power Wash finally dropped. How many people can play Power Wash at the same time, Juice? That sounds like a lovely activity. All right, so let's get back to interacting. Is it like 4? 4 sounds good. And now we're going to find the captain. Oh, let me delete Yohei from this. Oopsies, I should have removed them last time. Did it. Let's go ahead and find a captain of Team Red here. Opposite Yohei. Also, first people in the ring. Another important distinction to know. Oh, Liger looking to get his gold back. Or Takahashi, both of them wanted to probably want to reclaim that title. So Jushin Liger, captain of Team 2. Go ahead and add that in. Jay Liger, so you don't get him confused with all the other wrestling Ligers. Joining Yohei on Team Blue coming up. In a matter of moments, we're going to finally figure it out here. Oh, the professor of professional wrestling, Serena Deeb. In with Yohei. Quite the coup for Yohei there. Crowd seems appreciative. S. Deeb. 1 and 2 for the story, 1 to 6 in a free play. Like, you can just drop 6 fools in a yard that's filthy. And just have an afternoon spray washing the furnishings and one another. What a glorious time. Okay. Should be like a slip and slide DLC. Ba-doom. All right. Got some more Team Red action. Jushin Liger will be captaining a squad that features Becky Lynch. My word. Liger and Lynch. Formidable duo of them there against Yohei and Deeb. This is shaping up to be a great Lynch. Shaping up to be a great trios match. Okay, and the final 2 combatants in this one. We got half a dozen names to pick from. Final member of Team Blue, reveal yourself via the Wheel of Fate. Fate has decreed Flamita hanging on by a pixel for the 3rd and final spot on Team Blue. Here we go, Flamita. Nothing to turn into it. Nothing to initialize there, unless I just wanted to call them F period. And now we go to find the final member of Team Red. Okay. And rounding out all the squads, Britt Baker, DMD, Mayor of Britsburg. Woo, says that one particularly enthusiastic member of the crowd. B. Baker. Becky Lynch, Britt Baker, and Jushin Liger against Flamita, Serena Deeb, and Yohei. The winner to receive a Legends Junior title match. I'm going to say probably intimately, like probably next week. I tend not to leave too much time before the turnaround here. Becky, that's not how you spell Becky. There, that's fixed. And Britt. Okay. We got ourselves a full card. There we go. For our final match, let's see what happens if I do this. We're down to 20,000. Do you think I can pack in 10,000 people with this trios match? Let's find out. 6-man tag, but we're all over the place here. Okay, so starting us off in the ring, we've already determined that Yohei. Yohei, I says. Face. Yohei. There we go. Yohei teaming up with Serena Deeb. Probably in the heel category, if I had to guess. Yep. Deeb. There we go. Serena Deeb. Yohei Deeb and Flamita. Sure. With your brightest, most fun attire. Oof, that did not inspire a lot of people to show up. Let's see if the caliber of their opponents help. Okay, we got more heals with title opportunities here. Liger! Trying to reclaim the gold he lost so long ago. I see a Britt, but we're going to put you in later. Becky Lynch. And now Britt Baker can join the squad. What a team this is. Yeah, only about 3,200 people. So, I mean, we definitely filled this place out. For sure. For sure. So we could probably have like 35, 36,000 for 10 bucks a head. Doing all right. That's true. We could eventually have Juice versus Felly. Yeah, if you guys want to make yourselves. Anybody that has WWE 2K, feel free. Let me know. Holler at me with your online community creation hashtags or whatever. We'll get a whole rumble going, just for funsies. Okay. Don't know if I want to keep this in Japan. We definitely sold the place out like I thought we would. How do we feel about an arena? 40,000. Okay. Large hall. Okay, so like I said, about 35,000 people are showing up. What about the rural? How large can we get here? Only 16. Wow, that's a huge change. We got no foothold in Europe, and we never established one this entire time. But if we go to America, urban, watch this. Yeah, we just sold out a football stadium. We almost sold it out at $20 a head. Go down to the large hall here for 40,000. We can do that for... See, we can do 20 by 40 and get 800K here in America. Merc! We can go back to Japan. In their arena. Oops, sorry. Not their arena. Their large hall for 30K. And make 300 grand and spend 340. I'm going to America. In the large hall, $20. There we go. Let's do that. So we make almost double our expenses. I'm doing this because we were kind of lowball. Well, not lowball, but we don't quite have that $1 million a month TV deal, like that pay-per-view deal we used to have. So some of our wrestler salaries are getting a little beefy. So everything we can to sell this place out, which we did, and make everybody happy, which we did. All right. These are all just projected attendance, by the way. It's not like we sold tickets to the Japanese show and then just canceled it and moved it. I mean, we'd honor them, but, you know, trans is on you. Okay, we got a good 10-match show here. Let's go ahead and finalize that. Oh, if only, Juice, if only. I'm hoping at some point, and this is my only complaint with WWE 2K22 so far, is for, and I said this during the MyRise stream on Tuesday, for a game that's like 95% about look at all the things you can create and share with your friends, why on earth is your MyRise character locked to just the MyRise mode? It baffles me. Like, how difficult is it to copy your like if they need a CAW in the MyRise universe or whatever part of the game to make it work properly? How difficult is it to then just have the game pull that CAW out and copy it to your, now you can use this one in exhibition matches mode? Like, it's just weird to me. Anyway, we booked our show. I don't think we're gonna loan anybody out. Actually, let's try to power feed a promotion with our. Let's jam them full of our talent once again, shall we? So let's send Dawkins and Ford if we can. They don't want them. Do they want Montez Ford instead? They love Montez. Nuts to you, Dawkins. All right, Kylie Ray didn't get to work here, but definitely worked for AEW. We're going to leave Bailey out of it. Send Phoenix over. Anybody that's not... they don't want Phoenix either. Anybody that's not hurt too badly, send Hangman over, sure. Let's... anybody that doesn't have a title, so that... Oop. That takes Johnson out. That takes Jungle Boys out. Bailey, we'll leave him alone. Takahashi, sure. There we go. Who else? Moxley didn't do anything this week. Sure, he... Oop. Come on. There you go. You want John Moxley to fall through? All right. Moxley they took. Kevin Owens doesn't trust us too much, but they don't even want... EW doesn't even want him. Oof. Minoru. There you go. See you later, foraging. Have a good one. Masawa's got the Noah belt, so I'm going to leave him alone. Some Seth out there. Thanks for lurking, buddy. Appreciate you. Okay. Raven. Anybody that's not working, that's not hurt, that's not a title holder. Let's give it a shot. Out you go. They'll take who they take. No thank you about that. Alright, that's pretty much everybody. And that is also in America, so I'm hoping that also, like, helps them with their exposure and popularity in the country. Even though they're not, like, I guess it also depends if they get booked or not, but I'm at least, you know, trying to spread the wealth. That's right. It's time for the Summer of Juice, where he, like, takes your chat title and just pieces out. Departs unknown. Okay. Everyone's here. Everyone's booked. I didn't make any, man, I am out of practice. Let me check. Yeah, made sure I did my training center stuff. Didn't make any merch. Gotta make some merch. Okay, I'm gonna do 10,000 branded snacks for our, I think, 40,000 seater. I'm just gonna do a limited run of masks. They don't sell very well, plus they're really expensive. I'll do 10,000 goods though. Towels and t-shirts we're definitely gonna run out of. Photo collections I'll do 10 grand of then. And I'll probably do 5 and 5 of the DVDs and action figures and see if we can move those as well. Again, creating some artificial scarcity. I can just always print more. So, hopefully, those that see them will be like, we only have so many copies here. We better buy them while we can. There we go. Overwrite that. Oh, yeah, that... Yeah, I like the Crash Harley, you know, 24/7 version of the hardcore title more than I like the Silly Billy, like, literal WWE 24/7 title. Like, I realize it's a comedy belt, but at the same time. Nothing will ever top Crash running through that play structure, like going through the slides and, like, running out of the ball pit, stuff like that, with, like, the headbangers and crap running after him. What a hoot. All right, I'm going to say this again just because. And we are going to proceed. We're going to see how we do. We only have 2 guests, one of which invited them, like, offered themselves. Yeesh, that's a weird way to put it. Offered their services, also a weird way to put it. Got in contact with their office and wanted to get a match booked. There we go. So that happened. So we booked them a match, an opening match. And the other was we got Endo in from DDT specifically to face Brett. So let's see if everybody wants to show up for work. Here we go. Finally time to take a look at the show here. We are just doing the one event tonight. I decided to sort of, for this final year, we're going to book them all as 10-match supercards and then just let them happen. And that's, we'll say our goodbyes when they're done. All right, so everybody showed up. Still got a full house of 40,000. Hang on, let me just double check before I save. Sometimes it's tricksy and it's like, we didn't report anything wrong. And then you look down the card and 2 of your matches are missing. So all 10 of them are still here. So I feel competent saving. I don't know if I said competent or confident there, but before I can slip. We'll get down to our first match. Caden Carter, Emi Sakura. For, I'm not going to say no reason, but Caden Carter wanted a match, so we set her in there with the veteran Emi Sakura to show her the ropes, so to speak. Let's get on down to the ring. Yeah, the Holly's super heavyweight gimmick was pretty funny too. As always, the creature on feature, back from his vacay. Mr. Bigfoot signals for the whistle, and we are underway here. In front of 40,000 strong. Thank you as well for joining us as we stroll down the gnarly wrestling aisle once again. Caden Carter in from NXT in NXT's traditional black and gold color scheme. And the Killer Queen, Emi Sakura, in there in her royal violet, purple. You're turning violet. Nice Joshi-style slam there to the veteran Sakura, a multi-decade veteran of the Ring Wars here. A bit of a controversial business practices for Mr. Bigfoot whilst I was away, but we'll have a little sit down with management, see where he stands in terms of Chick-fil-A's practices. We do have our own various sponsors he could have franchised with instead, but hey, whatever he does on his own time is his prerogative, as long as he's not going to be running for any political office anytime soon.
Give up.
Off the ropes goes Sakura. Nice dodge there. Kaden Carter, not a stranger to the GWA ring, has guested a number of times before, normally with her longtime tag partner Casey Catanzaro, currently known as Katana Chance in NXT 2.0, because what white girl wouldn't be named Katana Chance? Ooh, not enough time for Sakura there for whatever she had in mind with Kaden in the corner. Couple of dodges there, but Kaden scores with a couple of kicks. Now working on the legs of Sakura. Pulls her back to her feet. These two ladies smartly taking their time. You can see them stalking each other around the ring, not wanting to be the first to make a major mistake and swing the momentum too severely in the other's corner. We just passed the 5-minute mark. Sakura content to try to keep the pace slow and steady with that headlock. Ooh. Kaden Carter picking her spots here. Another nice snap suplex. Pulling ahead on points here. It's our guest from NXT. Hang on. Oh, up and over goes Carter. Sakura able to stuff that hammer throw attempt. Oh, dang. We got spiked with a Frankensteiner. Back to her feet before a pinfall can be attempted, however. And then again to that snap suplex. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. Oh, shades of Hiroshi Tenzan there. Out of Sakura with that double chop to each side of the neck. Back to those knife edge chops goes Emi Sakura. Down goes Carter. Oh, able to dodge that drop kick. Double underhook. Carter powers out. Still pretty cautious from both athletes here. Sakura content to just ground Kaden Carter. Hang on, off the ropes. Big senton splash there. Carter back up to her feet. Sakura once again establishing her position on top with a pin attempt, but just one. Just about 10 minutes gone in this one. Another picture-perfect snap suplex out of Kaden Carter. Hang on! Angel's wings from Emi Sakura into the Mahi Straw. This can do it. 1, 2, no! Kaden Carter rolling the shoulder in the nick of time. And we fight on. Once again into the Angel's wings. No! Double underhook into a backbreaker that time by Sakura. And then the inverted swinging DDT there. Once again, the double underhook into a tiger driver this time. 2! No! Carter out at a strong 2. Try and get back into this. There's our friend from NXT here. Right back to that snap suplex. It's worked pretty well for her so far. Sakura trying to stay on top of what she undoubtedly considers an interloper here. Nice super kick, but Sakura able to absorb it and score that huge chop to the throat. Oh, presence of mind there by Carter for the DDT. Into the cover. Emi Sakura out at 2. Got that underhook once again and back to the back. The southern quadrant of the ring, a very difficult spot to line your opponent up properly for a pinfall. Stormbreaker by Emi Sakura. See the variety of moves from the double underhook out of the wily vet Emi Sakura with the huge moonsaults. Too close to the ropes, however. Now Carter getting some time and space here to try to catch her breath after withstanding quite the onslaught there from GWA's Emi Sakura. Off the ropes, ducks the clothesline. Carter closing in. Another big kick to the midsection. Oh, and a super kick under the jaw. Hooks to leg. 2! No! Sakura able to pop that shoulder up and escape. Another suplex, though. Kaden Carter maintaining her offensive advantage. Trying to position Emi Sakura just so, center of the ring, but Sakura, oh. Sakura trying to respond. Carter able to counter. Sakura needs a little distance here. Carter not giving her any. Emi Sakura powering back to her feet, trying to get some space to catch her breath. Amazingly, has the wind left for that leapfrog, but eventually catches a super kick under the jaw once again. Deep hook in the leg by Kaden Carter. And only a 2. We are inching toward 20 minutes in your opening singles contest, the first of 10 big fights we're bringing to you. And a beautiful leapfrog into the drop toe by Sakura. Double underhook across the knee, like so. I break your back. Shout out to El Aso Wipo, R.I.P. Double chop there. Carter able to shrug it off. Hit that DDT, both ladies down and out. Now both back to their feet. Bit of a reset here at the 17-minute mark. Both women got to be thinking knockout shot. Sakura's been working that midsection and back for most of the matchup here. Once again to the top. Oh, 450 splash to the small of the back. La Magistral, but again, too close to the ropes. Carter again, I thought, perhaps gonna get a little distance and catch her breath, but follows Emi Sakura out to the floor. No countouts or disqualifications outside the GWA ring, as Caden Carter tastes some apron there. Yeah, pinfalls also don't count. Did anyone tell Caden before she showed up? She's been here before. She should know that. Nice chop combo there by Sakura, but you can see the toll this match is taking as we're approaching the 20-minute mark. And again, this is just the opening contest. Can you imagine if they're working this hard in the opening match once we get to the title fights? The fighting spirit shall be through the roof. Sakura slowly returning to the ring. Caden follows her back in at the 20-minute mark. Gets caught in the Tiger Driver. 2! No! Carter once again rolls the shoulder and we fight on. Big knee in the corner. Just trading forearm shots until another huge super kick by Caden Carter drops Sakura. Sakura once again thrown to the floor. This time Caden Carter, much like she did earlier in the matchup, taking her time, allowing Sakura to catch her breath. A lot of respect being shown here between these two athletes. Oh, very respectful forearm to the side. Equally respectful chops to the chest by Emi Sakura. Charging in with that mid-rope body splash. Kind of intersecting Caden Carter against the turnbuckle there. Into the roll-up. Center of the ring. 2. Got her! Caden Carter with the upset win. Rolling up Sakura out of nowhere after a hard-fought contest. Now, you know, these things happen. The important thing is, the crowd loved it. All right, Caden Carter in from NXT, defeating Emi Sakura. Maybe we'll send Emi Sakura to NXT in the next few months and see if anything comes of that. Backslide. Boom. Okay, coming up next, as the Wheel of Fate hath decreed, we have 6 fighters, and we are ready to crown ourselves a #1 contender to the Legends Junior Championship, currently held by Kyle O'Reilly, who recently defeated Hiromu Takahashi for the belt. He did not make the cut, as we are going to see Yohei, Serena Deeb, and Flamita face off against Jushin Liger, Becky Lynch, and Britt Baker DMD. The winning team obviously gets the winner's share of the prize purse, but the individual that scores the winning pinfall or submission is going to be your #1 contender to the Legends Junior title and face Kyle O'Reilly at an upcoming show. All right, let's get down to the ring for this trios activity. As per always, the referee on record, Mr. Bigfoot, signals for the whistle, and we are underway. Liger in the red and white body suit and mask. Yohei in the long black and purple tights. There you see the other 2 members of Team Blue in the corner there. In the pink getup is Flamita. And on the other side of the turnbuckle, Serena Deeb, the professor of professional wrestling. Rounding out Team Blue. Yohei and Liger, no strangers to each other. Long-term roster members here in the GWA. Have feuded over the Legends Junior Championship in previous years. Both would love to get back on top of that mountain. Get back to that championship salary, that prestige. Shooting star press in the early going here by Liger. Trying to make quick work of Yohei and earn himself a title shot. Tagging out there to, Britt Baker DMD does Liger. Meanwhile, Yohei tags out to Serena Deeb for the first time. I was going to say Liger's partner in white is Britt Baker, but Becky Lynch also wearing white. Brett is in more of a two or multiple piece ensemble, whereas Becky Lynch is more of a one-piecey deal. Also, she's got the fiery red hair. Plus, you should know what everybody looks like. Yada, yada, yada. There's Becky in the corner. Hey, Becky. That was the constant smirk of Britt Baker on display here. She's in there with another accomplished professional women's athlete, Serena Deeb. Going to work into the lockjaw early here. Everybody on Team Red trying to make an early night of things. But as we are sub 5 minutes into the contest, Deeb able to escape that early lockjaw attempt.
5 minutes gone.
As you just hear the call there, the 5-minute mark. Boop. I wonder why this doesn't work. That's weird. My mute mic button doesn't work anymore. So many changes today. This one? Let's try this one. Fixed it. There we go. Back to the action is Flamita in the pink and Becky Lynch in the white. Fresh into the contest. Now we've seen all three members from both teams to this point, and we're still under the 10-minute mark. These ones could go a while, as there is a team and individual strategy at play. And once again, Team Red not wasting any time as the disarmer locked in early by Becky Lynch. Everyone on Team Red very much knows what's at stake here. We see very early submission attempts. Liger with that shooting star trying to end things early. A lot of signature offense on display in the opening 10 minutes of this contest. This Jushin Thunder Liger, professional wrestling legend, Hall of Famer, across the globe. In there with Serena Deeb, spiked her with a tombstone into the cover. In comes their partners very quickly to break that up. So you know, not only is the winner's purse at stake for the winning team, but if the match ends, regardless of whether you win or lose, you want to be involved in the fall. Cannot earn the #1 contendership if you are not the legal fighter. At the same time, the team's going to have your back because they want more money than the losers, more prestige. I mean that literally. We have Blu-ray copies of the Prestige in the back. And we only have enough for the winning team. Oh, the I smell cheese thing I don't think made much sound. I didn't notice. Or perhaps it blended in and I can't see them on my screen, unfortunately. I can only hear them. Fortunately, it's the one night a week I'm not playing a console game, so I wouldn't see them in front of my own face. That's funny. Becky Lynch now putting some work in and then tagging in Britt Baker, DMD. What a formidable tag team this would be in the junior heavyweight division. Britt and Becky might win matches by sheer force of attitude alone, as Britt Baker almost stole it there against Flamita. Luckily his partner's in there to save the matchup. Well, that looked mighty familiar. Bit of a last shot there. Brainbuster to the knee. And in comes Yohei, team captain, trying to rally Team Blue here. Britt Baker on a tear, however. With a pair of DDTs to Yohei here. She's still going. Oh, mistimes the rolling forearm, but manages to tuck him once again into a third DDT. Nice swinging neck breaker that time from a suplex position into a cover. And both of Yohei's partners in once again to save the matchup. I'd like to see that camaraderie out of Team Blue. At the same time, Team Red, the aggressors in the opening 15 minutes thus far. And they started early by going for their finishes and signatures. Liger appealing to the crowd as he heads it to the top once again. Another shooting star press. La Magistral Cradle to the center of the ring, but Deeb's there to break it up at 1. And now all 6 athletes briefly in the ring. Liger smartly bringing Yohei ever closer to the red corner. Oh, Yohei with a counter. Stuffed by a drop toe. Into the Doomsday position. Doomsday missile drop kick from Becky Lynch and Liger to Yohei. Yohei has had enough. Quick tag out to Flamita. Liger stuffs a double team attempt there. Another drop toe. Gets rolled up, however. Flamita into the cover. Quick 2 count. Everybody stays on the apron for that one. I guess they had no confidence in Flamita's roll-up ability. Chops result in a severe single leg crap to Jushin Liger there. Now, a reminder that once about 20 minutes or so pass in a single, well, especially a singles, but also a tag contest, submission attempts get more and more, like exponentially more serious as the minutes wear on here. Oh, sit out angel swings by Baker into the cover on Flamita, and Yohei is there to save the match at 2. Serena Deeb is in such good shape. She's scary looking. Like, she looks villainous. I say this to Juice all the time. She looks severe and sinister. She's in such great shape. Oh, what an enziguri to Britt Baker there. May have knocked her out before Serena Deeb even attempted a move now that she's tagged in legally. Arm whip off the ropes. Britt Baker back to her feet, but could be out on her feet here. Well, Serena Deeb not so wisely sending Baker all the way into her corner across the ring. Just wants to apply a submission in front of her teammates. Oh, ho, ho, ho. And pays for it dearly as in comes Liger to break it. And then Becky Lynch with a disarmer. And now Britt Baker tagging out to Liger legally. That did not work out for Deeb whatsoever. Try to rub it in the face of the entirety of Team Red. And now she's on the floor getting worked over by Becky Lynch and Britt Baker. Meanwhile, in the ring, Yohei, Flamita, trying to handle the wily vet Jushin Thunder Liger. Fight will continue as such until Deep returns to the ring. Becky Lynch into the ring to try to help out her partner Liger. Meanwhile, Britt and Serena on the floor. Again, this chaos will continue until Serena Deeb returns to the ring here. Oh! Yohei able to counter that Liger bomb attempt in the ring. I just saw Britt Baker with the Angel's Wings on Deeb on the floor. Enziguri to Yohei. Head on a swivel here. All the action. Oh, hang on. Deeb back inside. You can see her arms. The worse for wear. Can't quite hold them up anymore after that long disarmer. But she's able to tag out Yohei, and now we're back to the 2 team captains here. Yohei and Liger as we roll on toward the 25-minute mark in this tag match. Yohei suckered into the red corner. In comes Becky Lynch. 2 of them begin to trade blows. Big dropkick from Yohei, settling that strike battle for the moment. Go behind, poison Rana. Not only does that damage Becky Lynch, but that sends her across the ring. Smartly done there by Yohei to get her into the blue corner. Hang on. Manhandle slam by Becky, but she's in the wrong part of town. Hooks the leg, but it's not going to matter as Flamita breaks it up at 1. Drop kick on the button there by Yohei. Follows it up with enziguri. Looking for that knockout shot. Could be that super kick. Nope, pulls her back to her feet and pays. Drop toe by Becky. Scoop and a slam. Quick tags on either side. Flamita in for Team Blue. Jushin Thunder Liger back in for Team Red. Nice counter to the brainbuster there by Flamita. Off the ropes. Pump kick to the face of Liger. Almost smacked his mask backwards. Big drop kick by Liger, absorbed by Flamita and into the super kick. Liger with another drop toe, not letting Flamita maintain that momentum. Nice assisted whip there. Flamita definitely in the wrong part of town, however, but just where Liger might want him. Hang on! Muscle Buster into the powerbomb, but like we said, in that red corner, in comes Britt Baker and Becky Lynch immediately. Flamita caught! Shooting star press! Oh, just able to kick out. What ring positioning by Liger there? Britt Baker tagged in legally. Shotay by Liger. Thought Britt may have been thinking lockjaw to follow up. But instead, DDTs Flamita down. Ripcord. Discus forearm by Britt Baker DMD. Another DDT spikes Flamita. Able to get that hand up. And in comes Serena Deeb, speaking of getting her hands up. Can't quite get him up where she could at the beginning of the matchup here. The damage done by a couple of disarmers from Becky Lynch in this contest. The rolls through, nice swinging neckbreaker there once again by Baker, trying to position Serena Deeb for that lockjaw submission. Deeb at the counter, you heard the call there. We are over 30 minutes gone in match 2 of 10. Almost an hour of wrestling so far in these first 2 matches. And now a double suplex from Becky Lynch and Britt Baker sending Serena Deeb to the floor, where Liger and Britt are going to try to double team Serena Deeb. Meanwhile, Becky Lynch, the sacrificial lamb, in the ring to try to fend off Flamita and Yohei. Standing Spanish fly to Lynch. Meanwhile, the lockjaw to Serena Deeb on the floor. Becky Lynch eats a double enziguri. That's actually an enziguri and a gamengiri combination, but that's splitting hairs. Lynch into the disarmer on Yohei. Flamita breaks it up almost immediately. Look at the condition of Serena Deeb. She can no longer raise her arms whatsoever. And like we've said, there are no countouts or DQs in the GWA, outside the ring at least. So this will continue until the legal fighters have returned. And we've got Becky Lynch and Serena Deeb. And so here we go. Into the disarmer. This should do it immediately. Becky Lynch, your winner. May have spread a little extra money Britt Baker and Jushin Liger's way. What a job they did on the outside there, securing the win for Team Red and Becky Lynch. So now we're going to have Becky Lynch versus Kyle O'Reilly for the Legends Junior Championship. Both wrestlers have armbar finishers. That should be a doozy. All right. Ba-boom. Good stuff. Good stuff. All right, so we got Liger, Becky, and Britt winning. Just updating my text file right quick. Becky, your winner overall. Go get him, Team Red. Over Yohei? I think it was, no, it was over Serena Deeb. Her arms limp at her sides. Could not withstand the disarm her. Great work by Team Red there to secure the victory. All right. Will Hobbs going to have to put in some work to secure the victory over the best bout machine, Kenny Omega. One-on-one with powerhouse Will Hobbs coming your way next. We got some beastly singles matches mixed into this 10-match super card. Hope you enjoy it. Will Hobbs, Kenny Omega. Hui. Mr. Bigfoot calling for the bell, and here we go. Excuse me, signaling for the whistle. I forgot. So this particular arena, it's a whistle instead of a bell. Kenny Omega in the long hair and long tights. Will Hobbs in the singlet, white boots. As far as I'm aware, a first ever singles meeting between these two gentlemen within the confines of the GWA. I don't know if that actually extends to the real world as well. Surely on some indie shows somewhere. Well, perhaps not, as Kenny Omega spent a significant portion of his career exclusively wrestling in Japan. Early tombstone attempt by Kenny Omega. Didn't see that coming, but Will Hobbs certainly did. Able to reverse it, but Kenny Omega, none the worse for wear, it seems, in the early going here. Big shoulder tackle by the powerhouse Will Hobbs. Could be looking for his main event spine buster, perhaps a running power slam to put Kenny Omega away. Omega, of course, you do not want to give up a back control to, as he has many ridiculous offensive weapons, including the one-winged angel, his chief move among them. Also with the Kataro Crusher from back there, is it Kreutz Wrath from back there. Kataro Crusher's off the ropes. The Snapdragon Suplex. A number of very punishing maneuvers. Do not give up standing back control to Kenny Omega. Got to be in the back of Will Hobbs' mind this entire contest. Sends Omega off the ropes, but gets bowled over, does the powerhouse. But a power on display from Omega himself there. Oh! Double underhook pile driver by Omega and into the cover. Doesn't hook a leg, and that may have cost him the matchup. Will Hobbs out at 2. Oh! V-trigger. Omega focusing on the head at the 5-minute mark here. Another kick out at 2 by Hobbs. Omega trying to end Will Hobbs' night early here. I do. Big Will Hobbs fan. Hells yeah.
1, 2.
Ice Enziguri once again into the V-trigger. Kenny Omega focusing on the head neck of Will Hobbs here. Trying to dim the powerhouse's lights well before the 10-minute mark. Super kick continues the offensive roll here for Omega. Hobbs with the clothesline trying to get something started. Omega shuts him down. Oh, Omega says this is it. V-trigger off the rope to the back of the head of Will Hobbs. Oh, can't do a second one, runs out of wind. And now Will Hobbs with a standing, stalling, vertical. Signature offense out of powerhouse Will Hobbs. Scoops him up, thought he may have been thinking power slam. Hits him with a vicious body slam. Kenny Omega may have winded himself attacking powerhouse Hobbs as viciously as he has in these opening 10 minutes here. Another enziguri by Omega, but slow to the follow-up. And now powerhouse Will Hobbs with an opportunity here to climb back into this matchup. Sending Omega off the ropes, poorly timed there. Will Hobbs bouncing off Omega. Omega positioning him for an elbow off the top. Nicely struck there by Kenny Omega, but unable to follow up, at least immediately. Sending Hobbs to the floor. Here comes Omega. Over the top. Leveling Will Hobbs. No count out, no DQ outside the ring. Super kick. Enziguri. The onslaught continues to the dome of Will Hobbs. Running power slam on the floor by the powerhouse. Desperate to get back into this matchup. Sending Omega into the apron there. But gets caught in a suplex by Omega. Hobbs just fighting for position here. Oh, gets thrown into the apron his own self. Kenny Omega has the time and space to climb to the center of the ring. Catch his breath. Hobbs with a nice power slam off the ropes, however. Both men going back and forth, just trading punches, as you do in a wrestling contest. Defenses for chumps. Enziguri settles things for Omega there. Up top, one-winged angel. 1, 2, 3. Big win for Kenny Omega over powerhouse Hobbs. Well, alrighty. Well, alrighty. That's gonna be in the low. That's gonna be like mid-80s, I think. Never mind. Never mind. Kenny Omega apparently elevating powerhouse Hobbs to a 96. Hells yeah. Hells yeah. All right, Kenny Omega beating Powerhouse Hobbs. That was only match 3, folks. We got a lot more action headed your way. 96% on this. Oh, I forgot to get the percentage on the 6-way. Yeah, 6-way. The trios match. Get that in a sec here. What did it say? 95, so we got a 97, 96, 95, so our overall is 96. Nice. Good stuff. Good stuff. All right, match number 4. Since Stan Hansen has arrived here in the GWA, it has, for whatever reason, put a burr under the saddle of one Raven and his House of Misery. It all started when Stan Hansen, in his first singles contest here in the GWA, defeated Raven's muscle, Mike Awesome. In a future contest, Stan Hansen was then challenged to find a few tag partners to take on the entirety of Raven's stable. And wouldn't you know it, let me just double check. Wouldn't you know it, Hansen and friends lost that match to, to the entirety, hang on, House of Misery. Mike Awesome pinned Mike Bailey in that matchup. So, continuing the feud of the House of Misery versus Stan Hansen, we're having another tag match. Mike Awesome wanted another crack. Raven sent in Taz to be Mike Awesome's partner. Hansen was once again tasked with finding a tag team partner and once again answering the call to be beside Stan Hansen is former GWA World Heavyweight Champion Kenta Kobashi. So all that to say, the tag match you're about to experience is Kobashi and Hansen versus Taz and Awesome. Mr. Bigfoot signaling for the start of the fight, and we are underway. Taz and Kobashi starting things off. As we mentioned, Kenta Kobashi, former GWA World Heavyweight Champion, teaming with relative newcomer here to the GWA, Stan the Lariat Hansen. So far undefeated in every match type we put him in. A singles, a trios match, and now a tag team contest. No pressure, Stan. But he's only 2-0 at this point. Oh, Rocco asking about whatever happened to Big Show? Like, you mean in the AEW sense? I don't know if it's a case of, like, maybe the pandemic wasn't that great for such a big fellow, or I don't know if it's a health thing, or I honestly don't know why he's been kept away. Maybe he's just doing backstage stuff. Maybe he just hasn't been needed. I don't know. All Mark Henry's really seems to do is show up on Rampage and have that, like, 90-second interview spot before the main event. Honestly don't know what Paul White's been up to. Maybe he's been filming something, like a show or some such. Anyway, Kenta Kobashi is already scared off Taz. In comes Mike Awesome. Oh yeah, that's right. They did get the trademark for Captain Insano. I think that's just so there can be a Captain Insano costume for the Big Show, or excuse me, for Paul White in the AEW video game. But if he shows up as Captain Insano in like a Halloween casino battle royale, perhaps, I mean, that's a good place to see him. He should be he should be like a special feature, you know, like he should, especially at his age, maybe wrestle twice a year, only when absolutely necessary. Nice. In comes Hansen. Now we've also traded off with Taz back in there, all 4 gentlemen in this matchup. Seeing little action in the opening 5 minutes. Just getting warmed up are Hansen and a Kobashi and a Taz and an Awesome by the time of 5 minutes of elapsed in a contest. Haven't really even taken the measure of one another to this point. Hang on, I say that, and then Kobashi with those lethal chops. The neck of Taz. Okay. So he wants to kind of have a fun sort of thing. I can see then Captain Insano teaming with a Danhausen. Or maybe Captain Insano will be the one to come back and help Jungle Boy with Luchasaurus or something. I'm fine with it if he wants to come back under that gimmick, as long as they use it well. You know what I mean? And by well, it doesn't necessarily have to be like, oh, it's got to be in the main event or anything silly like that. Just, entertainingly. And safely. I don't want him getting hurt if it's his last run either. It's amazing he's done everything he's done in the wrestling business and his body is kept up as it has. Because for a guy his size, good Lord, has he ever done a lot. Back to Stan Hansen, Mike Awesome. That's where this beef began. That singles contest some months ago. Stan Hansen's debut here in the GWA. A heck of a contest. Go out of your way to track it down on our stream VOD page on the YouTube there. We got playlists for every game or for most games we do. Some of them are single sessions, or they're the single sesh playlists, but for every multi-week game, we generally have a playlist for it. GWA, of course. We have Generation 1 and 2. Available for your perusal in their entirety on the YouTube page. Oh, God! What a dangerous DDT / sheer drop brainbuster that was from Mike Awesome. Puts a little extra stank on every move he does. Very little regard for his opponent's physical well-being has Mike Awesome. Oh, I thought perhaps Hansen was going to side lariat Mike Awesome's head into the third row, but it was not to be. Quick tag on either side, and once again, Kobashi and Taz are face-to-face. Now, this would have been a rather interesting contest at the height of both of these men's careers. Kobashi able to fend off Taz. Both Taz and Mike Awesome, as we've mentioned, representing Raven's House of Misery faction. And our best wishes on a speedy recovery to the fourth member of that faction, Hayabusa, currently dealing with some neck issues. Hope to see you back in competition in a couple of months there, buddy. I wouldn't mind taking a Wardlow powerbomb. It seems like it'd be real smooth. Like, look how he caught Orange this week. Dear Lord, Burning Lariat does not keep Taz down. Drops Kobashi with one of his own, and in comes Awesome. Awesome trying to get back to his corner, momentarily distracted by the tag made. As Taz and Awesome were able to keep Kobashi on the red side of the ring. No, Kobashi evades a drop kick from Mike Awesome, and back in comes Stan the Lariat Hansen. Pile driven right in the center of that logo of our main sponsor into the STF. Now Kobashi whispering sweet nothings into the ear of Awesome, no doubt. Cussing about in Japanese. Oh, God. Crucifix Awesome Bomb to Stan Hansen. Undeterred. Continuing to bring the fight to Mike Awesome. Can't see him, but he's going to swing away. Good old legally blind Stan Hansen. The powerbomb of his own, folding him up. 2! Awesome out at 2 at the 15-minute mark of this tag match. Big singles action headed your way following this one to round out the first half of the card. Following this action, we have William Regal versus CM Punk one-on-one. Oh! Head and arm Tazplex there, bit of half and half. Taz style to Stan Hansen. And Hansen has had enough. Making his way all the way across the ring, slowly keeping an eye on Taz, not losing him from his line of sight to get Kobashi back into the matchup. Oh, Felly, just wait. I'm sure he's just taking some much-needed time off, and he'll be back before you know it. They do have a pay-per-view in Chicago coming up, after all, and he has beef with people from Chicago. What a chop by Kobashi into the moonsault. 1, 2. Oh, trying to steal one as Mike Awesome had to tag up there before he could help Taz. Taz helping himself by throwing Hansen out of the ring. Trying to do the same for Kobashi now that he's tagged in Awesome. Actually ended up helping Kobashi there by sending him into his own corner. In comes Stan Hansen, fresh from being thrown over the top rope by Taz. But the grizzled old vet, Stan the Lariat Hansen, will fight until he's got nothing left. Double suplex by Hansen to Kobashi, sending Awesome to the floor. Partners trading off, hang on. Quick chops to Taz. But a bit of a feint there by Hansen, who immediately returned Awesome to the ring. I don't think Kobashi was expecting that. Got a bit blindsided there by Awesome and stuck in the red corner. Hang on! Crucifix Awesome Bomb folds him over. Awesome elects not to go for the pin, though. That could have saved Kobashi. Puts him in the corner. What does Awesome have in mind here? Ties him to the tree of Joey Lawrence. The tree of woe. And now Kobashi's turn. Oh, went for the Crucifix Awesome Bomb. Trying to hit Awesome with his own move, but Taz wise to it. Stops him in the middle of the animation. Just plants him with that belly to belly. And now a pile driver from the human suplex machine. Kobashi fights his way free, able to tag in Hansen once again. Hansen and Taz. Oh, capture suplex by Taz. Throws Kobashi to the center logo. Pile driver by Hansen. Quick tag up by Kobashi, running defense, and he got him! He got him! Mike Awesome occupied. Quick tag up there. You saw Kobashi able to run defense, and it worked. Kicking out at 3.01 was Taz. Just too little, too late. No pun intended. As Stan Hansen pins Taz and remains undefeated in the GWA. All right. All righty. Got him. Got him. Nicely done, too. What a tag up. Smartly played there. Excellent teamwork at the end to ensure that victory. Nicely done, fellas. Nicely done. Now, there's nobody that either competitor can rely on in this next contest but themselves, as William Regal of the Heat business is taking on one of the proteges of Mitsuharu Misawa. CM Punk is going one-on-one with William Regal. Now, William Regal has a variety of moves he can use to put you out. The Regal Plex with the bridged pin, the Regal Cutter, the Power of the Punch, the Knee Trembler, and of course the Regal Stretch. CM Punk, meanwhile, prefers to put his opponents to sleep with the Go to Sleep. Failing that, uses the Anaconda Vice as his submission finish. I dare say William Regal has more finishing offense than CM Punk does, but we'll see, as the potency of what CM Punk does as a finishing maneuver certainly more impactful overall. Perhaps the Power of the Punch one-to-one with the GTS, but beyond that, we shall see how these two men line up. Singles contest, many years in the making here. Quick one count on Regal's side there, sort of testing the cardiovascular conditioning of a CM Punk, who, as we said, has been spending his time training with Jon Moxley and Mitsuharu Misawa for the past year or so. Ever since he was himself GWA World Heavyweight Champion, it has been his quest to try to get back on top of that mountain. Big singles win here against a high-profile opponent like a former Hall of Fame champion in a William Regal. Should certainly up his status in the eyes of GWA management. Perhaps work his way back into title contention before the eventual disillusionment of the entity known as the GWA G2 at the end of the calendar year. Don't tell the wrestlers I said that. They're wrestling as though they're here forever. Back and forth these two men go in the opening moments of the contest. CM Punk getting the better of that exchange and maintaining that advantage, trying to position Regal center of the ring. Nice signature strike combination there from CM Punk, and I say signature because it's the signature of Kenta that he stole it from, just like the Anaconda Vice that he quote-unquote learned by watching Hiroyoshi Tenzan, excuse me. Sometimes all these Toshis and Yoshis and Hoshis get mixed up. Hiroyoshi Tenzan developed the Anaconda Vice as a finish for himself in the early aughts, and soon thereafter CM Punk picked it up in OVW and ECW. Much like his Go to Sleep, and several of his strike combinations are directly lifted from the moveset of Kenta, the man who keeps calling Punk out on Twitter as he is a member of the New Japan roster, and who CM Punk has been ignoring this entire time because he's CM Punk. Action is spilled out to the floor. where we can remind you there are no disqualifications or countouts outside of a GWA ring. The fight will continue until both competitors return. The only time a 3 count or a tap out can be legally recorded is within the confines of the Gnarly Wrestling Aisle ring. So Mr. Bigfoot is as powerless as the fans behind the guardrail to stop any of this activity, as these two men are going tooth and claw to the delight of the 40,000 plus in attendance. CM Punk now with a steel chair, perfectly legal outside the ring, just swatting away at the chest of William Regal. Now that he's returned to the ring, he has a 5 count to drop it. Drops it at 1. Into the corner. Checking the time. Quarter past clobbering time, says CM Punk. With that knee strike pulled into the short arm clothesline. Used to be a bulldog, but I guess it was too much of a back bump. This way he doesn't have to take one. Only his opponent does. Or a butt bump. Yeah, that would hurt the spine after a while, that bulldog. Oh, both men knocking noggins. Punk back to his feet first, but William Regal with the presence of mind. Perhaps wrestling on instinct. And who would have better wrestling instincts than a William Regal? Starting with an exploder suplex, a couple of stiff strikes, now throwing Punk to the floor so he can catch his breath. Smartly done there by William Regal. 10 minutes into the contest here. Trying to pace himself. Oh, missing the knee trembler there. But scoring with a forearm off the ropes is William Regal. With back control on Punk. Punk sends him off the ropes, however. Nice leg lariat by CM Punk. Going to be looking for that go to sleep, I am sure, sooner rather than later. Off the ropes comes Regal, however. Knee trembler, back of the head, into the cover. 1, 2, no. Punk escapes at 2. Double underhook into the backbreaker. Welcome to Chicago, MFR, says CM Punk. Spikes Regal with a DDT. Back and Punk into the corner goes William Regal with a strike combination of his own, ending with that vicious headbutt. Sparks a strike exchange between the two. Oh, stiff kick by Punk, settling the argument for now. Center of the ring, but no. Into the Regal cutter. Hooks the leg deep. 1, 2, 3. William Regal got him. Regal cutter out of nowhere, and it's over. Quite the shock finish, but William Regal standing tall on CM Punk. Ooh, I mean, we've dipped a bit, but we're still in the 90s. That kind of derails CM Punk's bid for a championship, I would think. Sorry, buddy. William Regal defeated you clean as a sheet. Clean as a whistle. And we roll on. Now, that would have been our match going into break. People would have been talking about, man, can you believe William Regal beat CM Punk? Wow, what a great fight. Oh, that was awesome. Yeah, but all the other good stuff. What a great show. What a great show. And hopefully that continues once we come back, because we're going to start with some tag team activity in the second half of our show, as Kevin Blackwood and Sting, representing the Black Moon Fight Club, headed by Sting, are taking on Bobby Lashley and Eddie Guerrero of the Heat Business. Now we have both captains of both stables here, Sting representing the Black Moon Fight Club and Eddie Guerrero, the head of the Heat Business, in this one. Bobby Lashley and Eddie Guerrero teaming up against Kevin Blackwood, who, if you are not familiar with their work, check them out on YouTube. They're a Canadian indie wrestler that's been making some waves the past couple of years. In there with the icon Sting. Some stable, some factional warfare here. Black Moon Fight Club versus Heat Business. Tag team styles headed your way. Let me just throw myself off screen. And away we go. Kevin Blackwood and Bobby Lashley starting things off here as Mr. Bigfoot signals for the whistle. These are the two gentlemen that have the most MMA training on these two tag teams, so not necessarily the worst move, despite the size discrepancy, to start Kevin Blackwood in there with Bobby Lashley. Kevin Blackwood started their career purely as sort of an indie-style wrestler, has since done a lot of professional fight training and has integrated that into their wrestling style. And of course, Bobby Lashley's amateur career is a long and storied one. Got bored with wrestling in the middle of the 2000s and went to do some MMA part-time, came back to wrestling in the next decade, and is now on top of his game currently in the WWE. Since tagged out here to the leader of the Heat business, Eddie Guerrero, and man, have you heard about this guy's frog splash? I tell you, got to go down as one of the most referenced maneuvers in the history of anybody jumping off the top rope. There's no one just does a splash anymore. You know what I mean? Like, no one just does a big splash unless you're from a specific Samoan family. No one really does just a splash off the top. Everyone instead just wiggles their arms and legs a little bit and is like, that one's for Eddie, frog splash, which I find very strange. Like, has no one figured out anything else to do with their limbs? Like, can we get somebody diving and do a snow angel and then land on somebody instead of the frog splash, which is, tuck your arms and legs in and then splay them back out straight up, straight out? Can we get like a snow angel or something else? Anything else, really? Nothing against Eddie, nothing against his frog splash, but as I've spoken privately with Juice about, just getting a little tired of every time somebody uses one, people fingers up to the heavens, that one's for Eddie, chant starting, da-da-da-da-da. But maybe that's just me. Good gracious. I don't know if Sting knows where he is after that vicious lariat. And smartly, Sting, the leader of the Blackwood Fight Club, showing great leadership skills by scurrying back to his corner to tag back in Kevin Blackwood. Bobby Lashley, all business all the time. Quick tag out on the Heat business side of things once again. Looks like they're hoping for a bit of a mismatch here between Blackwood and Guerrero. Everybody's over the Eddie reference? I hope so. Like, I got no problem with you doing that, and I have no problem with if it's the reason you're doing it. Like, I have no problem with any of that. I'm just a little annoyed about how often the commentary and how often the wrestlers themselves kind of draw attention to that specific part of it. Like, if you didn't know the guy, knock it off. I don't know. That's just me. By the way, RVD's frog splash, a jillion times better, and always has been. Just throwing that out there. By the way, I like D'Lo Brown's frog splash more than Eddie's, because he really went for it. Anyway, that's just me. Bobby Lashley just choking the life out of Sting here. I don't know how that's a legal submission maneuver, but apparently it is. Scooping a slam by Sting, looking for the Scorpion Death Drop or Death Lock, or perhaps a small package here. Just gets a 1. Big back elbow block by Lashley off the ropes, able to ground Sting once again. Leisurely makes his way over to the Heat business corner, and in comes Eddie Guerrero once again. As we pass the 10-minute mark. Setting Sting up in the corner, the wrong part of town, however. Sting able to reverse, and chopping away on Eddie Guerrero is the Icon. Tags on either side, and once again, as we started the matchup, Kevin Blackwood in there with Bobby Lashley. Bobby Lashley, full of confidence, full control of Blackwood to this point. Couple of lariats. Blackwood smartly slowing things down with the headlock takeover. Unable to maintain the hold, however. Able to press the advantage a little bit, however, is Blackwood. Coming off the ropes now. Oh, not enough time. Oh! Goes low. I don't know if Sting approves of that. Uppercut to the ding-dong by Kevin Blackwood. That's not very sporting. And off the ropes, that seemed to have angered Bobby Lashley a little here. Once again, slowed down. Trying to take away the momentum from Bobby Lashley. Trying to wear him down. Trying to steal that big man's oxygen. Lashley content to once again ground Kevin Blackwood and tag into his Heat business leader, Eddie Guerrero. Going for a gory bomb. No, a Black Tiger bomb facing the proper corner here. 2 and no. Blackwood out at 2. Eddie with an eye on Lashley so we could see him making the save for him had he needed to. Hang on up top. And there's that frog splash we were talking about. Rolls into the pin, does Eddie. 2 and 3. Easy peasy, lemon squeezy. Kevin Blackwood goes down to an Eddie Guerrero frog splash. It's legendary for a reason after all. Heat Business gets one up on the Black Moon Fight Club just as the crowd was getting into it. Frog splash over. Oh well. You heard the crowd just beginning a chant, which means they're like just starting to get into it. Blam! Done. I say frog splash, you say pinfall. Okay. 78 so far, the worst match by a wide margin. That's gonna hurt our overall rating. Oof, dragged it down to a 91. I mean, we already had a couple of 91s before then, but yeah, we're definitely got some work to do. I want to stay in the 90s would be nice for overall audience satisfaction. Like we started real strong. Okay, last time, we just had a 78. Last time Bret Hart defended the DDT Championship against a homegrown DDT talent, he mopped the floor with them and won, and it was about a 74%. It was a disappointing title defense for Bret Hart. I mean, a successful title defense, don't get me wrong, but in terms of like entertainment and story value as a match, the fans were left unsatisfied. That's not playing into Bret Hart's mindset in this title defense whatsoever. His primary concern is defending the DDT Heavyweight Championship. Tetsuya Endo's primary concern is trying to defeat the legendary Bret the Hitman Hart and bring that DDT Championship back to the dramatic Dream Team itself. How will it shake out? Only one way to find out. Let's get on down to the ring. Hoo-yah! Mr. Bigfoot once again signaling for the whistle, and we are underway. Tetsuya Endo in the trunks, the dark black trunks with the orange and purple trim. Bret Hart, of course, in his traditional pink and black attack jack. Bret will be wearing Tetsuya Endo down for the 5 moves of doom, ending in the sharpshooter. Tetsuya Endo, I believe, uses a shooting star press as a finishing maneuver. Certainly very skilled in all forms of aerial combat as a Tetsuya Endo, but much like a Kota Ibushi, who also started out as a junior heavyweight and eventually worked their way up the ranks to a heavyweight contender, augments his aerial offense with some very unique, impactful, like slams, drops, suplexes, bombs. I'm sort of in a WWE 2K naming mode. Oh, Pax Black Arrow's dope. That's like a weird corkscrew thing. But he also tends to do the Black Arrow to the back and then just transition straight into the Brutalizer too, which is dope. His Rings of Saturn variation there. Back and forth the two gentlemen go. DDT champion Bret Hart getting the better of that exchange, hitting a stiff pile driver on Endo, but Endo right back to his feet here. A lot of fight still left in the challenger and champion, as we are but 5 minutes into this contest. First title fight of the night. Earlier today, we crowned a #1 contender to the Legends Junior Championship, so at one point in the future, champion Kyle O'Reilly will be facing challenger Becky Lynch in what is a battle of the arm bars. This is our first true title fight of the night. DDT Championship on the line. Bret Hart champion, Tetsuya Endo challenger. And again, if you're not familiar with Tetsuya Endo's work in the really real world, do yourself a favor and type their name into the old YouTubes as well. I'm sure you're going to see a plethora of highlight packages. Quite an athletic competitor. Some more of the highlights of the DDT roster is Tetsuya Endo. They got a handful of guys, as do most promotions, that'll just wow you. Whoa! Especially with moves like that. Way to counter that attempted German suplex by Bret, just flipping over and landing easily on his feet. Now Endo back to that young lion training. The very fundamentals of professional wrestling with that Boston Crab and Bret Hart with a Russian leg sweep. The back of Tetsuya Endo's head bouncing off the turnbuckle padding there. Could have caused some severe whiplash or perhaps injured the neck. Just ask Sting about that. Couple of chops by Endo. Once again, trying to slow things down. Trying to outwork the Hitman. You're going to have to pack a lunch if you try to do that against the caliber of the excellence of execution with another stiff pile driver there to Endo. Unique pin attempt there. Seated on the chest, hooks the leg deep. Only gets a 1 count. Big spine buster by Bret. His turn now to start working on the legs of Endo. You can see that chop from Tetsuya rocking the Hitman, and now a snap suplex somehow sends the Hitman under the ropes and to the floor. Nicely done by Tetsuya Endo there. Bret Hart looks a little bewildered. Another snap suplex and into the cover that time. Just a 1 count as we pass the 10-minute mark in this DDT title fight. Champion Bret Hart against challenger Tetsuya Endo. Challenger looking pretty good at the moment. Engaged in a strike battle with the champion Bret Hart. Putting everything he has into that rolling forearm. Unique figure 4 variation here by Tetsuya Endo. The Hitman's got to find a weak point. Get that hold broken and into a crossface. Too close to the ropes. Hitman grabbing that bottom rope immediately, but good gracious, what a vicious looking crossface from Endo. Powerbomb reversed by the Hitman. 2. Whoa, almost won it with his technical prowess. What a counter to that powerbomb. Almost stole it there. Hitman with that vertical suplex, getting a little time. Oh, and then just drop with a vicious clothesline up the ropes. What elevation on the drop kick to the face by Endo. Challenger rocking and rolling here. Bret's got to get something going and get back in charge of this matchup. Running powerbomb, but too close to the ropes once again. That could have done it, but Bret Hart was able to grab the bottom rope. Endo almost pinned. He seems to have tired himself out. Hitting his most potent offense on the Hitman. Shooting star pin attempt. Bret out at 2. Center of the ring, big super kick by Tetsuya Endo. Off the rope, sliding D, drop kick to the side of the face. Sends Bret off the ropes once again. Another beautifully placed drop kick to the face of the Hitman, but he's right back to his feet. Avoids the second drop kick. Doesn't avoid the running powerbomb, but again, the bottom rope comes into play. Tetsuya's got to get that powerbomb facing the other way. Pair of inverted atomic drops by the Hitman. Lays in a few European uppercuts. Oh, drop toe by Endo there. Gets dropped from his own. Oh, on his own there. Oh, back and forth they go. Huge headbutt there from Tetsuya Endo. Didn't quite expect that. Off the ropes again to the side of the head. Endo seemingly focusing his attack on the head and neck. History of concussion issues has the Hitman. It was a severe one that caused him to retire. Roll over from the rings of Saturn. Got him clenched in the back of the neck as well. What a unique submission move there from Endo. Hitman able to escape, and we fight on here. But Endo with a lot more up his sleeve than I originally gave him credit for. Now backing Hitman into the blue corner. What's he setting up for here? Oh! Almost delayed in midair. That beautiful shooting star, but Bret able to block and reverse into the sharpshooter. Taps out Tetsuya Endo. Bring me some real competition, says the Hitman. Able to avoid his finish and lock in his own. What a victory for Bret Hart, your DDT champion. What a match. Made Endo look like $1 million and then beat him. That's how you do that. Okay. That was awesome. I mean, winner and still champion, so we still have the DDT championship outside of DDT, but we're trying to get it back to him. That was a lot better than Bret Hart's last title defense. That's for sure. All right, we got 3 more matches to go. First up, we have a bit of a preview of a future title contest next week/month. We're going to be presenting the September show And the main event of that show has already been determined as the GWA World Heavyweight Champion Kurt Angle putting his championship on the line against the #1 contender by virtue of their cash-in anytime, anywhere title shot by being part of the winning team of the Trios Tournament of Terrors, Kazuchika Okada, who is no stranger to title opportunities, no stranger to the GWA World Heavyweight Championship, but I believe has never faced Kurt Angle one-on-one. We'll be doing so next week for the GWA World Heavyweight Championship. So in anticipation of that, Kazuchika Okada is going to be teaming up with Keith Lee and Chris Statlander, all 3 members of the Squared Circle K stable here in the GWA, to face Kurt Angle and 2 partners of his choosing. And he has recruited longtime ally Darby Allin and the mercenary Brody Lee. So we're going to have Chris Statlander, Keith Lee, and Kazuchika Okada against Darby Allin, Brody Lee, and the Olympic gold medalist and your GWA World Champion, Kurt Angle. Here we go. Hoo-yah! Some trios action headed your way, and then we got 2 title fights to take us home. As always, the creature on feature, Mr. Bigfoot, signaling for the whistle, and we are underway. Statlander in the black, white, and purple gear, and the green face paint. Darby Allin in the black jean shorts and the black and white face paint. Also the dark tights under the shorts for Darby Allin. An inexpensive cosplay, which is very wise, because I imagine now that people can get out and about once again for Halloween, and you're a teenage wrestling fan, I feel like Darby Allin cosplay is probably a real easy and real fun way to go. Just throwing that out there. As Statlander and Darby Allin starting things off, there you see on the apron Kazuchika Okada watching stoically in the blue corner. There you see captain of the red team and world champion Kurt Angle observing the action from his vantage point. Now both gentlemen tagged in. This is a preview of the world title fight we're bringing to you next week. Okada, the leader of the Squared Circle K, right now in the ring with Kurt Angle, the GWA World Champion. Now a reminder that these 2 faced off just last month, where Angle teamed with Darby Allin to successfully defeat Kazuchika Okada and Chris Statlander in tag team action. In that competition, Kurt Angle scored the victory over Chris Statlander. So, message not quite sent, as we have another trios match now. Another opportunity for these 2 to not necessarily settle their aggressions, but certainly cement their aggressions toward one another before that big championship contest that's going to main event our show next week. As we now see the powerhouse of the Squared Circle K, Keith Lee, in there against Brody Lee, and paying dividends immediately as he grabs him by the beard and throws him over the rope and to the floor. As we pass the 5-minute mark in this trios contest. No countouts, no DQ on the floor, but I don't think any of Brody Lee's nor Keith Lee's tag team friends here are too... Oh, hang on, I may have spoken too soon. Everyone but Kurt Angle seemingly involved in the fracas on the floor now, as the World Heavyweight Champion choosing to save himself for more legal fighting as this contest wears on. Unfortunately, leaving his team at a 2-on-3 disadvantage. Now he goes over to even things up, seeing an opportunity there to attack Keith Lee. Double suplex by Angle and Darby to Keith Lee on the floor here. No count out, no disqualification. Until the legal combatants return to the ring, this fight will continue unabated. Angle there trying to lure Keith Lee back outside. Keith Lee admiring the chaos that he has caused. And now, thankfully, oh, Keith Lee stunning Brody. No relation, by the way, between Keith Lee and Brody Lee. They were trying to sneak Chris Statlander to the ring to perhaps blindside Brody Lee, but he wised up in time to get Kurt Angle involved in the matchup. And as we stated, last time these 2 locked horns in a ring, it was in a tag team contest, and Kurt Angle tapped Chris Statlander to the ankle lock. I'm sure she's well aware of that. Hang on! Angle! Angle slam to Statlander. World champion wasting no time, hooking the leg deep. Keith Lee saving the matchup. Angle going to work here. GWA World Heavyweight Champion, future contender Kazuchika Okada waiting on the apron. Once again, tags made on either side. In comes Keith Lee. Kurt Angle immediately tagging out to Darby Allin. That's an interesting choice on his part to face limitless Keith Lee. Hang on into the Big Bang Catastrophe, but too close to the ropes. That fireman's carry into the spinning power slam. Angle demanding a tag, getting back in there, able to counter. Maybe you wanted to see how the BBC, or excuse me, the Big Bang Catastrophe was applied before, so he could counter it. Angle slam to Keith Lee, but in comes Okada to break things up. Lee menaces the back angle, but into the wrong corner. Hang on. Oh, big clothesline by Keith Lee. Rolling forearm that time, discus forearm. But in comes Okada. You have to ever be watchful for that Rainmaker, that ripcord lariat of his head. Oh my gosh. Overhead German by Kurt Angle and immediately into an ankle lock for his future title challenger. Kurt Angle looking to do lots of damage before their eventual singles meetup here. Getting the advantage for his team, tagging in Darby Allin. Content to observe for the moment. Mind games being played by the GWA champion here. Even something as simple as hiring Brody Lee for this matchup to counter the power of a Keith Lee has got to get in the head of an Okada and the rest of the members of the Squared Circle K here. Kurt Angle and Brody Lee certainly not morally affiliated in any way, shape, or form. It is strictly business tonight. Small package attempt by Darby, almost surprised Keith Lee. Had him rolled up just so. Couldn't shift his weight. Hang on. Spirit bomb by Keith Lee to Darby. But Brody Lee's there to boot him in the chest and break up that pin attempt. Keith and Darby still legal. Powerbomb countered by Keith Lee. 2. Darby out at 2. Darby going for Statlander here. Gets distracted. Gets dropped once again by Keith Lee. Now Statlander tagged in legally. All a ploy by Darby Allin, luring Chris Statlander over to his corner, and in comes Brody Lee. Gut wrench into a Dr. Bomb. 1, 2. No. Thought that may have done it. Oh, black hole slam by Statlander. Cover of her own, but wrong part of town. In comes the world champ to lend some aid to the mercenary for the evening, Brody Lee. Who knows what favors were promised? Who knows what money exchanged hands to get Brody Lee on the side of Kurt Angle for this matchup? Perhaps a world title shot in the future. Perhaps, like we said, the simple exchange of 5 figures or more. Nice butterfly suplex to Chris Statlander. The obvious power advantage in the corner of Brody Lee here. Statlander doing all she can. Able to shrug off that discus lariat for a moment. Hits one of her own. In comes Keith Lee. But Brody Lee also tags out to Kurt Angle, the world champ, back in the ring. Wants some activity. Oh God, it gets turned inside out by a thunderous clothesline. As we creep up to 20 minutes here, Kurt Angle thrown to the floor over the ropes. Your world champion immediately back into the ring. Angle slam to Keith Lee. Hook of the leg. 2. Keith Lee out at 2. Amazingly, I thought that might have done it. I've never seen Kurt's eyes like that. Once he landed on the mats outside, popped back up to his feet like he was doing a burpee, and then ran back into the ring for that Angle slam. What resilience from your world champion, and he's gonna need it with a Big Bang catastrophe. Got him! Keith Lee's pinned the world champ. The bemused Okada looks on. Perhaps. Damage done as Keith Lee of the Squared Circle K picks up a huge pinfall victory for not only his stable, but for his stable leader Kazuchika Okada going into his big singles match next week. Huge victory there. What did that take out of Kurt Angle? Gotta be distracted going down in a clean pinfall ahead of his championship match next week. Bum, bum, bum. Okay. Ooh. That's gonna play into Kurt Angle's mindset going into that title fight. And speaking of title fights, we got 2 to bring you, 2 to go, and then we're headed home. First off, another championship opportunity being cashed in last week. We saw Keith Lee go one-on-one with Ahmed Johnson for Ahmed Johnson's Hall of Fame championship, and despite a world-class effort from Keith Lee, Ahmed Johnson retained. Now we saw Keith Lee real strong in that trios match that just passed, and now stablemate Kairi Sane, the 4th member of the Squared Circle K, is cashing in their title opportunity to once again become GWA Junior Heavyweight Champion for, let me just double check, what would be a history-tying 3rd time. The only other 3-time champion, should Kairi Sane win, like she's not 3-time champion yet, should she become a 3-time champion, she would tie the record for most reigns currently held by former GWA roster member Dragon Rojo Jr., someone we have not seen in the ranks of the junior heavyweight division for years in the GWA, a record that has stood for many a year. All she need do is end the first reign of the OG of the GWA, the only original roster member remaining as you stroll down the gnarly wrestling aisle, the master of the deadliest submission maneuver from the years 1981 to 1983 inclusive, the Stomach Claw. I give you Kairi Sane versus the junior heavyweight champion, the Convict, Bill Bullock. In our semi-main event, Mr. Bigfoot is ready, and so are the combatants, and we are underway. Bill Bullock immediately going for a headlock takeover. Going to want to control this, try to keep it on the ground. You do not want to let the fiery and feisty Kairi Sane dictate the pace of this one. The MVP of the Trios Tournament of Terror throughout its 5-year run, the Pirate Princess Kairi Sane, once again looking to become Junior Heavyweight Champion of the World. The only thing standing in her way is the oldest, the grumpiest, the surliest member of the GWA roster, Bill Bullock, who can not only tap you out with that dreaded stomach claw, but can pin you with the prison plex. The double leg hook suplex into a bridge. Bill Bullock there just wailing away. Now, under the rules of the GWA ring, that is technically a submission. It is up to the referee to stop the fight if Kairi Sane cannot defend herself from that position, and it is up to Kairi Sane to break that hold, to get herself out of that predicament. As you see, she's done a couple of times so far. So that is not a disqualificationable offense. Neither is that poke to the eye, though it is frowned upon. But far be it from the convict Bill Bullock to leave any of his tricks off the table in defense of his junior title, as an early attempt to sail the 7 seas by Kairi Sane goes awry. Quick sleeper into a knee to the chest there by Bill Bullock, but Kairi Sane undeterred, setting the champion on the top rope, pushing him down. Double stomp off the rope to the champion. Oh, Bullock replied with a Fisherman Buster to Kairi Sane. And then right back to those straight rights to the face. As we said, a submission maneuver as it counts here, as it is up to Kairi to break that hold and defend herself. If she can no longer defend herself and gets knocked out, the referee will stop the fight and award the contest to Bill Bullock in that predicament.
Nice back elbow. After a couple of duck unders and a discus lariat there, and then back to the face goes Bill Bullock. Kyrie goes low with the drop kick. Nice arm whip into the arm bar. Once again, working the legs. She has that Croston crab, the cross-legged Boston crab that has brought her fame and glory here in the GWA. Nice hip attack there from Kairi Sane. Oh, Bill Bullock with a straight right hand. Kyrie off the ropes. What recovery from the challenger here. Big splash, only gets a 1. Bill Bullock dragging Kairi Sane center of the ring. Got to be thinking stomach claw. Sooner rather than later. A devastating submission hold here. There's that Croston crab we were talking about. Speaking of devastating submission holds, has brought her quite the success in the Trios Tournament of Terror, and we might very well see it in October of this year, as the Squared Circle K have to put their titles on the line once again. Fist drop off the top by Bill Bullock, weakening the stomach of a Kairi Sane. There you see a knee to the midsection. All to soften up the guts of Kairi Sane for that dreaded stomach claw if he can't knock her out, that is. Huge main event spinebuster by your junior heavyweight champion. Dragon screw leg whip. Shout out to the original leader of the Squared Circle K, Keiji Muto. Led that stable to glory before his eventual retirement. Hang on, stomach claw! Stomach claw by the champion! Kairi Sane is fading fast, but she's able to break the hold. Another back elbow. Only a matter of time now that Bill Bullock has locked in the stomach claw once. Oh, another miss at the 7 C's. That devastating elbow drop. Kairi Sane going for a third attempt. No, not enough time. Not enough time, and she knew it. Trying to set up the champion just so. Back and forth they go. Oh. Oh, a pair of discus maneuvers. The lariat from Bill Bullock proving to be the stronger of the two. Another dragon screw by Kairi Sane up top. Going for the elbow. Nails it finally. Into the cover. 1, 2. No. Bullock out at 2. Kairi Sane pouring it on here. Back up top she goes. Misses an elbow. Gets dragged away from the ropes. Discus lariat. Starting to work the legs now is Bullock. Oh. Uppercut to the no-no button. I don't know what to call that. Double axe handle by Bullock. Kairi Sane perhaps wasting a bit of time saluting the crowd. But the final cut by Sane into the Croston crab.
Give up. Give up.
Bullock trying to reach the ropes. Eventually does, and the hold is broken. Huge punch blocked that time by Sane. The tenacity of a Kairi Sane coming into play here as this match wears on. As we head toward 15 minutes. Rake in the eyes by Bullock. What a moonsault. 1, 2, no! Sane just rolls the shoulder. Bullock says this is it, but he pauses to catch his breath. Oh, poke in the eyes. 2 of them in a row. Oh, and a straight right once again. Back to the midsection. Kairi Sane with that chop to the throat, dropping Bullock. Alabama slam. Drops the elbow. Can't make the cover. Both combatants back to their feet. Standing spear by Sane. Drops the elbow off the ropes. Once again blocks the punch. Final cut by the challenger. Headed to the top rope. No, doesn't have enough time. Another backhanded chop. Once again looking for that elbow. God, no! No, Bullock back to his feet just in time. Off the ropes comes the champion. Sane ducks the clothesline. Can't duck that uppercut. Boot to the back of the head. Bullock now trying to drag Kairi Sane to the center of the ring. Front flipping neckbreaker by Sane. There's life for the challenger yet. Standing double stomp. Sending Bullock across the ring now. Setting him up top. Another seated double stomp off the ropes. Kairi Sane hits the elbow to the small of the back. Rolls Bullock over. 1, 2, no! Snap suplex. Sane not missing a beat. Right back on the attack. Oh, Fisherman Buster by Bill Bullock. Able to fend off the challenger once again. Into the sleeper, off the ropes. Knee to the face of Kairi Sane. Attempted the stomach claw, but Sane kicks him away. Able to dodge that punch. Snap suplex, got him near a corner. Sane positioning him just so. Pulls him back to his feet at the 20-minute mark. Standing spear, hooks the leg. Too close to the ropes. Sane with another insane elbow. Pulls him away from the ropes. Into the cover. 2. No. Bullock out again. What resilience from the champion. It took him years to earn this title. You're going to have to kill him before you beat him for it. Kairi may do just that. Stomping the air out of his lungs. Bullock once again going low. What a leapfrog by Sane. Head scissor takeover. Once again salutes the crowd as she ascends the ropes. Elbow drop. Can't make the pin. Standing spear. Another snap suplex by Kairi's. It is her match to lose at this point. What a flurry of headbutts by the champ. Bullock hanging in there and hanging in there. Another dragon screw by Kairi. Into the crossed crab. Too close to the ropes. Somehow Bullock escapes. Oh, huge lariat. Another low blow by Bill Bullock. No depths the champion won't stoop to retain his title. Pair of double stomps to the chest of Bill Bullock, but he's back to his feet and on the attack. Kairi pondering something here. Bullock able to fend her off. Discus lariat. Once again, Kairi evades an attempt at a stomach claw. Another standing spear, hooks the leg. 2, 3, she did it. We got a new junior heavyweight champion. Only the second 3-time champion in our company's history. What a match. And we still got one more headed your way. 5 stars. Woo. Thank you, Rasko, for the sticker. I saw that because I was looking at my OBS screen. Holy moly, what a contest. Your winner and new champion, Kairi Sane, in a 5-star classic. Hot dang. The 16th junior heavyweight champion in our company's history. And like we said, the second 2-time champion ever. All right, Bill Bullock. Let me just etch your name in there real quick. I'll put Kairi Sane in as champ number 16, her 3rd reign. There we go. All right, all that, we got one more match headed your way. Bison Smith and Luna Vachon took part in something of a mini tournament to earn themselves a tag team title opportunity. Ba-boom, ba-boom, ba-boom. Let's celebrate our new champion being crowned here in a barn burner. That match alone, if you look over there, got us 2 more points on our overall card rating. Like, we were at a 91. That match happened. Now we're at a 93. So no pressure here in the main event. Bison Smith and Luna Vachon, as we said, won a tournament to grant themselves a tag team title opportunity against champions Shawn Michaels and Scott Hall of the Heartbreakers. Let me just roll back here a little bit. Bison and Luna initially defeating Brody Lee and Kevin Owens in a 5-star classic, and then going on to defeat the team of Jon Moxley and CM Punk
in another 100% 5-star classic to earn themselves the match tonight against Shawn Michaels and Scott Hall. It is your main event of the evening, the final match we're going to be showing today. Bison Smith and Luna Vachon, the other two members of Sting's Black Moon Fight Club, against the Heartbreak Kid and the Bad Guy for the GWA Tag Team titles. Without any further ado, let's get down to the ring for your main event of the evening. As always, the creature on feature, Mr. Bigfoot, signaling for the whistle, and we are underway. Former World Heavyweight Champion Shawn Michaels starting the match off against Bison Smith. Bison Smith starting the match up knowing that partner Luna Vachon a little worse for wear following the grueling tag team tournament. Had to beat some top quality teams, some fantastic competitors in that tag team tournament. Did Bison Smith and Luna Vachon have to defeat on their way here against the current tag team champions Shawn Michaels and Scott Hall. Scott Hall, a former Hall of Fame champion. Shawn Michaels, a former Hall of Fame and GWA World Champion. He is the only, as far as I can remember, roster member of the GWA to this point that has held every title he is available to hold. He has held the tag titles here, and he's held both singles titles. And what a familiar combination of offense that was. Super kick into the pedigree from Michaels and Scott Hall. Long live the Click with that one. Though I don't know how you would combine the Outsider's Edge and Sweet Chin music. Perhaps you could have Shawn Michaels super kick the guy's head in the midair as Scott Hall threw him with the power bomb. But anyway, the action is spilled outside. Luna Vachon and Scott Hall, your legal fighters. Luna knows full well she can't win the titles out there, so back in the ring they go. This is the first title, or first or second? I think just the first. Let me just double check. I believe this is the first title defense for Scott. Yeah, this is the first title defense for Scott Hall and Shawn Michaels. After unsuccessfully attempting to take the Impact Trios Championships from Bret Hart, Will Hobbs, and their Impact partner, Eddie Edwards. As Shawn Michaels, his entire GWA career has been built around attempting to humiliate Bret Hart. To varying degrees of success. As we pass the 5-minute mark in this main event, Shawn Michaels being worked over by both members of the Black Moon Fight Club here, Luna and Bison on the floor. Shawn Michaels' tag team titles up for grabs as partner Scott Hall looks on. Now saunters over. Taking his time. As the action is spilled out of the ring here, no countouts, no disqualifications outside the GWA ring. All these athletes full well know, and there you see, oh my God! Dear Lord, the Iron Claw of Bison Smith has somehow burst open the forehead of Shawn Michaels, and he immediately hits him with a bicentennial on the floor. Big news, as Shawn Michaels has been busted wide open by an Iron Claw, and now an Iron Claw slam into the cover. 1, 2. Scott Hall, I think, just saved the tag belts. What a development here as Shawn Michaels, old HBK, busted wide open, got his head squeezed until it popped by Bison Smith. Through this blood-soaked face, Shawn Michaels able to get a tag out to Scott Hall. Michaels is going to have to recover on the apron here. We're going to keep an eye on that grievous head wound as this match goes on. Tag team champions Hall and Michaels now undoubtedly have to alter their strategy after that wound. Choke breaker there. Signature style choke slam from Scott Hall to Luna Vachon, who we were worried about Luna's condition coming into this matchup. Meanwhile, on the other side of things, Shawn Michaels busted wide open. And again, a bit of a weird injury there because it happened during a face submission, like literally squeezing the blood out of his face was Bison Smith. Now going tete-a-tete with Scott Hall and getting the better of the man. And now an Iron Claw for Scott Hall, former Hall of Fame champion. Current tag champion Bison Smith looking to win gold in the GWA.
Scott Hall tagging back out to the Heartbreak Kid. I don't know how wise this is. Mind you, he did have a few minutes on the apron to gather himself. Has to be concussed or worse. I don't know how else you can explain his forehead bursting open under the pressure of a vice grip from Bison Smith. Nice roll up here by Shawn Michaels, but you can see the stain he leaves behind when his head hits the canvas. Gets another quick tag out to Scott Hall. Perhaps if they use Michaels sparingly, perhaps that's the new strategy developing for the tag team champions here, as he was just in there very briefly. And back to the Iron Claw goes Smith on Hall now. Hall able to escape. Michaels did not have the wherewithal to help his partner until it was already too late. And Scott Hall perhaps mockingly throwing a toothpick at his tag team championship partner. They would think he would be sympathetic to his condition. Back to the challenger's corner goes Bison Smith to get Luna Vachon tagged in fresh. Essentially a bit of a 2-on-1 match at the moment, as Shawn Michaels very much worse for wear. Hang on. I may have spoken too soon. They are using him sparingly, certainly since his injury. We'll see how things develop. Luna Vachon, there were concerns for her neck going into this match, but now there are concerns on both sides of the ring here. Luna Vachon for her neck and Shawn Michaels for that head wound. Oh God, big pile driver by Michaels. Like we said, use sparingly. Quick tag out to Scott Hall, and now it's Outsider's Edge time. Vachon planted, but she no-sells right back to her feet. Big backbreaker by Luna. What a burst of fighting spirit from the challenger. Right back to her feet after that Outsider's Edge. Luna going up top. Waiting for Scott Hall to stand. Big missile drop kick to the hairy chest of Scott Hall. Hall just shoves Luna to the mat now, just trying to do anything to gain and maintain an advantage here. Luna senses a bit of danger. In comes Bison Smith in relief. Excellent tag team strategy by the challengers here, sending Scott Hall to the floor. Hall and Bison are legal. Oh, hang on. Shawn Michaels able to sneak by Bison Smith. Now a 2-on-1 situation developing on the floor. Outsider's Edge to Luna on the floor. Bison Smith preoccupied with Shawn Michaels and that kendo stick that he grabbed. Michaels takes the opportunity to pose on his challenger, and Bison Smith whacks him with a sledgehammer. Back of the head to Shawn Michaels. Good God. Bison Smith wearing out Shawn Michaels with that sledgehammer. Meanwhile, Luna up top. Diving headbutt. Smith and Hall, the legal fighters here. Scott Hall with that suplex, sending Bison Smith to the floor, trying to get some relief, but Luna right on his case. In comes Shawn Michaels, able to distract Luna. Bison Smith sending Scott Hall across the ring. I don't know how wise this is. Sack a crap, fall away slam, sends Bison over the ropes. Choke slam to Luna in the ring. Shawn Michaels grabs a chair. Oh, perfectly legal since he's not the legal fighter. But wait a minute. Bison tending to Scott Hall in the chair. Michaels breaks that up, but I think he was too close to the ropes as is. Action heating up at the 20-minute mark here. Lots going on in the championship corner. Huge powerbomb by Smith. Luna tagged in. Luna Vachon and Shawn Michaels, your legal fighters here. Both combatants worse for wear, but sky-high elbow drop misses. Off the ropes comes Luna. Body press with a pin. 2, 3, she did it. She did it! Luna Vachon and Bison Smith win the tag titles! Pinning Shawn Michaels! Now we can get him some medical attention! Yeah! 95%. New tag champs! Wow, what a rise. They had to win a tournament even to get the shot. Had to hang in there. I mean, they got the early advantage by busting open Shawn Michaels, but again, Luna Vachon's neck has been busted up the entire tournament to even get this shot. And lo and behold, not only does she get the pinfall that gets in the tag straps, she beats now a former tag Hall of Fame and world champion to do it. Good work. That's how you go out strong in a main event. New champions.
Wowzers. Okay, let me scroll down. The 11th tag team champions in our company's history. A first title reign for both Bison Smith and Luna Vachon. Okay, let me just update. Scott Hall, also a one-time champion. Now 11th. Oops, not 121th. 121th. 121st. Okay, Bison Smith. And Luna Vachon. Junior heavyweight. All right. What a main event. And then we're gonna, before I log out, I gotta remember to check the AEW show to see how the people that I sent them were used, if they were used at all. Okay. That is year 9, month 8. That will do it. Overall card, satisfaction 93%, 40,000 plus. Saw a heck of a show. We have ourselves a new junior heavyweight champion in Kairi Sane. Bison Smith and Luna Vachon just won the GWA Tag Team Championships, bringing those belts to the Black Moon Fight Club. In front of 45, almost 46,000 strong. Paid $20 a head. Heck yeah, I just made $900,000. I mean, to start with, I got expenditures and stuff, but that was about 900 grand on that one. Just on the tickets. To say nothing of the merch. Sasha Banks is the new WWE Junior Heavyweight Champion. We got new Big Japan Trios champs. Looked like the remaining Hogan got that. We got new AAA Trios champs. We got new Noah Tag Team Champions. Okay. And we made about 900 grand, more or less. How do we break that down? Yeah, got a bit of sponsorship. We got 200 grand for the national broadcasting and all that stuff. This month, New Japan has scheduled a tag team tournament. This month, Big Japan has scheduled a singles tournament. That's fine. Any other news? As we return to our management position here in September. Oh! Ooh. They found a Wyndham. I wonder if that's Barry or Kendall. Barry Wyndham would be nice, but I already have 50 people on my roster. I can't fire people or I'll lose my my TV deal. Ivory. Nice. I find Ivory and Barry Windham. We found Rikishi. I can't. I would love to. You know I would, but I can't. Trips to blank. Wait. Trips to $20,000 are dirt cheap right now. No. We don't. Shane Taylor from Ring of Honor wants to come down. Sure. Hang on. Shane Taylor in from Ring of Honor. Larry D in from Impact. So far, my idea is to put them against each other. Okay. All right, so I got those two guys in. So that is Shane Taylor from Ring of Honor and Larry D in from Impact. I'm hoping / thinking / assuming that if you ask to come to my show, you are more likely to actually show up when you are booked and so on and so forth. So that's my thinking there. So we'll see. We'll see. Because I still have to, or I'm still going to, I'm going to try to bring in Will Ospreay and then someone else from Ring of Honor, not Shane Taylor because they're not a junior heavyweight, but somebody else from Ring of Honor to face Will Ospreay because he has the Ring of Honor Junior Championship and I'm trying to get everybody's belts back in order. Anyway, we got some... Okay, yeah, we got some title matches next time. I already sort of have lightly booked. Let's do our training center maintenance as we always do before we can get out of here. I have to check AEW what they did with the people on my roster, if anything. Kevin Owens is probably really mad at me. He was still a C last time. Hey, Zach, what's going on? Unfortunately, buddy, you're kind of just in time for me to be wrapping up. But nice to see you, regardless. Had a real good 10-match show you just missed. Some real humdingers toward the end of things. Uh-oh, what happened? Yeah, tell me about your career. I got that Wrestling Empire game for my phone because you can, like, even though it's ad supported and like free with, ad support, whatever, you can't technically, like, it has some limitations, but at the same time, I can still do the booking mode and just like sim the matches on my phone. And I can't tell you how much fun I've had, like, making a 20 or 30 person like battle royal or Royal Rumble and just like
what if I have like 20 minutes to kill or something and I'm somewhere where I could just sit there and watch it on my lap and watch my whole roster? Like, yeah, I'm having a lot of fun with that game. It was actually you playing it so much that inspired me to check it out so much of my own. Okay, so training center maintenance I have done. Merchandise, we did okay. We blew out most of the stuff. These keep, like, they're not going to spoil or anything, so we'll just leave those as is. This is the only thing that only lasts a month, are the branded snacks. Natalia passed away in like 2023 or 2024, and you're on 2025. That's wild. It's cool that they have stuff like that built in. It's kind of neat because it seems like it's silly and random at times, obviously, but there's a lot went into making that game from that one gentleman. So I tip my cap to Matt Dickey for sure. She was your first tag team partner, and you held the tag team champions together. Ah, pour one out for Natalia on your Wrestling Empire game. That's a bummer. Okay, so those are all good. Let me save that because I've done a little bit of work. I'm going to check my personal advice because I'm going to see who wants a raise. Ahmed Johnson wants more money, so I'm going to do these before I check the AEW show. That's how we'll go out. Ahmed Johnson, our Hall of Fame champion, wants a little... Oh my gosh! He's not even making... My league minimum is $6,000. I didn't even know I was doing that to you, buddy. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. You are grossly underpaid. Everyone should be making at least $6,000 a month. Sorry, bud. Oh dear, oh dear. Okay, so let's go record. Let's go personal. Chris Statlander wants a little more money. Sure. I mean, you keep getting your butt handed to you by Kurt Angle. Statlander. Yeah, even Statlander's making 7. Oof. Okay, save all this. Go back to our personal advice. Abyss wants a little more money. Sure. Sure. We tried to send you to AEW last month and they didn't want you. There you go. Kind of killed Booker T in my game. Yeah, you can kind of overwork people and they can suffer severe, if not permanent, injury. It's wild. Okay. More personal advice. Yohei wants more money? Sure. I never say no. I just give them like the tiniest raise I can. See? Baby raise for you. Little baby raise. Okay, more personal advice. Eddie wants more money? Man. I'm happier when there aren't too many people complaining about their contracts. But there you go, bud. There you go. How about now? Kenta wants more money. Okay. One of our mainstays. One of the old G's here. First guy we hired. Making 18 grand a month now. How we doing? Okay. Checking a few times just to make sure. There, we can save that. We've done our training center maintenance. We checked out our merchandise and what we have left. We need to check out AEW's last event. Boop. Okay, so in the opening matchup, Shima of AEW faced Kylie Ray of the GWA. GWA wins. Match 2, that's Matt Sydal, Anna Jay. That's a AEW match. Match 3, Frankie Kazarian from AEW versus Raven from the GWA. Raven wins. Shug D and Minoru Suzuki went to a draw, so that's 2 wins and a tie. Oh, hang on. I was injured for 10 weeks for foot surgery. Then my partner Miz injured his shin, and we won the tag titles while we were injured, and we were stripped of them. Had to get 2 therapies. Oh no, 2 therapies, 1 or 2 surgery. Oh, jeez, that's pretty detailed. All right, so Yamamura and Preston Vance is a AEW match. Oh, they had a banger too, 96%. That Preston Vance won. Eddie Kingston, Evil Uno had a good match. JD Drake against GWA's Hiromu Takahashi. Takahashi wins. So far, every time they've done GWA versus AEW, it's been a winner or a tie for GWA. Yeah, Hangman Adam Page whooped on Penelope Ford. That's another win for GWA. Seth Rollins beats Miro. That's another win for GWA. John Moxley beats Sadie Gibbs. GWA wins again. And then in your main event, here's the only misstep, as Montez Ford from GWA teamed with Big Swole to face Awesome Kong and Lance Archer of the AEW, and the full AEW team won against the GWA/AEW team. So pretty good showing from my roster in front of 5,000 people at this AEW event.
Meanwhile, 40,000 people strong saw that GWA show. Sorry, guys. I thought I was giving you more exposure, but it turns out I'm better at the exposure than anybody else would have been. Yeah, I'm the only A in America. I'm the most popular promotion in America, so I should probably not send you to any other American promotions, I guess. Maybe they'll keep helping me somehow. All right, so let's save that. After we took a looky-loo, we dealt with the salary concerns. We wrote down who's going to be in next week. I got a couple of title matches that are already percolating. I can tell you right now that obviously we're going to see that Kazuchika Okada, Kurt Angle, GWA World Title match is our main event next week, as well as Hangman Adam Page earning his chance at Ahmed Johnson's Hall of Fame Championship due to a multi-person tag match that he won last week. So I'm going to do Ahmed Johnson Hangman for the Hall of Fame belt, Okada Angle for the GWA title. I'm going to try to bring in Will Ospreay and somebody to face him for the Ring of Honor Junior title. I got Shane Taylor against Larry D as a couple of friends of ours, and then we'll fill out the rest of the card. Yeah, it's shaping up, and that will be our September show. And then we are inching ever closer. In 2 weeks' time, we're going to have the final Trios Tournament of Terror. Isn't that going to be fun? All right, so that is going to do it for me. Let me hit this fancified button. Get myself front and center. There we go. So I can thank everybody for watching, no matter where or when you happen to be. Wishing you all chill vibes and clear skies. And if you find yourself in possession of a plethora of positive energy, please share it if you can spare it. And don't forget about your old pal, the Silent G, Rad Gnarly, saying so long for now. We are going to be back on the air Friday evening at 7 p.m. Eastern Time for more baby making and building in Ark Survival Evolved. Till then, TTFN. Let's go find somebody to spread a little love to on our way out of here. Oh, as per usual, the stream deck crashes, and I must vamp. Vamp, vamp, vamp. Second time's the charm. There we go. All right. Found somebody to go raid. And away we go. I don't actually recognize that name of someone I'm following. Maybe they changed it. Anyway, found somebody to raid, and we're off. Thanks for hanging, everybody. Hopefully I see you tomorrow night for our usual Ark shenanigans. Lots more babies and dinosaurs. Ta-ta for now.